Welcome to Lawndale Guitar Show, the show that's about guitars and the people that play them. And our very special guest for this episode is Mr. Danny Dean. Welcome, Danny. Thanks for coming in. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, to my knowledge, you're in a way a local Lawndale legend for a connection with a particular song and some bands that you played and the record company that was based here and so forth. And I guess the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is that song, because that song, Lights Out in Lawndale, to those that remember it back in the day, it was on MTV, and the name of our show is the Lawndale Guitar Show, so we have a direct tie-in with that. How did that come about, and tell us the band that started all that?
Well, I think it was around, I actually wrote it when I was in the band Anti, but I brought it over to a band called Easter. And Easter started in 1984. And, you know, sometimes when you're in one band and you transfer to another band, you'll take certain songs.
Sure.
And that song was one of my favorites. It probably took me 5 minutes to write. I was driving through Lawndale one day and just got all these ideas, just looking around at, you know, everything and the people.
And to this day, people could go on YouTube and see that song and hear the studio version and see that video you guys made back in the day.
Yes, if you look under Easter, Danny Dean, Lights Out in Lawndale.
Right.
You know.
Now, getting to your own particular history and your relationship with guitars, and you brought a number that we'll look at in a bit. What drew you to guitar and how long you've been playing and so forth?
It's been a bad obsession.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, but I started playing guitar or being interested in guitars when I first saw there was a Beatles marathon at a sci-fi convention. And I loved sci-fi as a kid, and I would go to these sci-fi conventions, and they had a Beatle fest or you know, marathon in one of the rooms there, and I sat and watched it, and I saw George Harrison just playing these beautiful licks, and I looked at the screen, oh, it's a Gretsch, you know, and I had to have one, and that inspired me to be a musician, seeing the Beatles on the big screen.
So that was one of your first influences right then and there?
Yes. I think before that, you know, I really didn't care about music too much. I was aware of it. I think the first time I was struck by a sound of a singer was Dion from Dion and the Belmonts. I remember hearing his voice, and I was just stunned how strong and beautiful it was. But later on, it was the Beatles that inspired me to be a musician. And also, where I was in life at that time, it was inspiring, and it gave me an idea to kind of escape from my situation in life, to become a musician.
And how old were you when you got your first guitar?
I started when I was 14, so I think that was around 1978. And
was your first guitar acoustic or electric?
I had a few acoustics, and some of them are missing strings. And then I graduated to a Fender. I think it was a Fender Music Man. It had like one pickup. It looked like a tiny Strat. And I didn't really like it too much. And then I begged my grandfather. My grandfather was like a gypsy. He would work for a month, and then he would go party for a month down in Mexico or wherever. And I said, if you go down there to some pawn shops, find me a guitar like this. And I showed him a picture of George Harrison holding a Tennessean. I said, like this one. And he looks at it and goes, well, okay. A month later, he comes home with the exact guitar.
Wow.
I was just blown away.
Do you still have that guitar?
Yeah, but it's been painted a few times. It's right over here. This one here. This is a 67 Tennessean, and it's been on a lot of recordings, and I played a lot of concerts with it. I retired it for a while, and I had to take it out of retirement, and I broke it.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's got cracks running through the neck and back here, if you could see that. The body is separating.
So it's still playable, but you got to be careful with it.
No, I kind of just retired it. Pat Wilkins in the Valley painted this years ago. I saw a picture of Brian Setzer with a flamed guitar.
I wanted to match
that. I said, oh, I want one like that. And he goes, oh, okay. And he painted it like it. And he goes, he goes, you like those flames? I go, yeah, they're nice. Check out this room here. He takes me in this room. There was a wall of guitars with flames that were nicer. And I'm like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? But this is kind of like a cartoon.
Well, it stands out on stage. That's good.
Yeah. And I put P90s in it. And I love P90s pickups.
Get
single
that tone,
coils,
yeah.
But they hum like crazy.
Mm.
But now I just heard that Lindy Fralin makes hum-canceling P90 pickups.
Okay.
But this was the guitar I would go to in recording sessions when I just couldn't get that sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go to this guitar and it would just accomplish the sound you hear in your head. And
Use the classic Bixby tailpiece on there.
Yes.
The tremolo.
Yes, and
Is everything else stock? The tuning keys and
no, they're probably they're what are these? I think they're Schallers. They're not the ones it came with, you know. And this is a graphite nut, and it was a fun guitar.
So it's a keepsake now.
And
Not something
because
to
my
really play on.
grandfather gave it to me.
Sure,
But
sure.
I like how thin it is. Most
Yeah.
Gretches are real fat.
Right.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, guitar, and I've had it, you know, since when? 80 or 81? I can't remember when I
It's a
got
long
it.
stretch.
So it's
Sentimental and just kept
Yes.
in a safe place.
I've kept it, and I plan on having Pat strip it and fix all the cracks and restore it soon. You know, I kind of just put it in the closet and forgot about it as one of the many projects you have. But one thing about it is I always felt that it didn't resonate like it should. And a few years back, somebody was doing some wiring in it or something. They go, "Hey, did you know there's a big piece of foam inside here?"
It's muffling.
I go, "No way." And they pulled it out and the thing just resonated beautifully. Had I known. But I think maybe that's probably what kept it from feeding back.
Now, did you seal the F holes in here? Or
No, that's the way
that's
that
the way it came?
Gretsch, when they came out with the Tennesseans, they were cut out, and then after a while they just started putting a decal or painting them on.
Just for the look, right?
But I think it's cool because it keeps it from feeding back a little bit. Because I used this in Easter, and our music was pretty loud, you know, and it worked really well.
Now you have many others here. Do we want to talk about some of these other
sure.
guitars?
This was my first Gretsch, and my second one, which I still have from high school, is this '57 Silverjet. I found it in a pawn shop, and I was making payments on it. I think I can't remember how old I was. I was still in high school. I had gotten sick, and I was in the hospital, and I couldn't work or do anything. And I thought I was going to lose it because you got to make your payments on time, or you lose it. And I was laying in bed, and my mother shows up with a friend of mine and this girl, and they had a guitar case with them. I guess what happened is the pawn shop called my house and told my mom, your son has a guitar on layaway here.
Right, what's
so
gonna
I think
happen?
she went and paid it off and picked it up and brought it to the hospital.
So that's a mother's true love there.
And she brought it, and it just made me feel happy. I was laying in bed suffering, and I just hugged that guitar. And it kind of like made me get well faster so I could get out of there and play it. But I've had this, since 82 or 83.
Yeah, it's a classic.
And I knew that I would keep it forever, so I didn't care if I got buckle rash.
Buckle wear, sure.
I wore it down. I used to fling this across the stage at certain nights of gigs, and it's been on a lot of recordings.
Took some wear and tear, but still plays.
And I picked it out because of the way it played. I really liked the neck for some reason. And this is a transitional model, the '57, because it has elements. It's got the pickups of the earlier Gretsch, the D-Armands, which are single coils. But then it's got a neck which is different, which is a later version, So it's got elements of both, and it also has this, what do you call that? A die or a...
Like a fill plug in there.
It has a
it's
plug,
wood, yeah.
which makes the neck a little stronger.
Ah, okay.
Because they usually just glue the neck to the body, but this thing makes it even stronger.
So it keeps it tight on the body.
Yes. And I've used this on a lot of recordings and a lot of shows. I've retired it to only using for recording.
Okay.
And it served me well.
Now I see you have a few more back here.
Yes. This is a project I've been working on little by little. This is a '55 Electromatic, full body. And the earlier Gretches didn't have a cutout yet, And I think it's a, I had 3 other ones like this. They were sunburst and blonde. Usually they're fatter, fatter body, and some of them don't have a truss rod. The earlier ones have a miracle neck. But if that neck bends, you're
out of luck.
You're out of luck. But this one had a truss rod. Anyways, I've been looking, I always scour for the blonde ones. I like the blonde. And
I got some of the hardware masked here. Were you doing some finish work on it, or
no? I was trading.
It?
I was gonna put some new DeArmonds in there. TV Jones makes some really nice ones, and I was gonna get a Cadillac tailpiece for this that you see on the Falcons, because it had a Bigsby, but it just didn't look right. I wanted that Cadillac tailpiece. It's got the original single arrow knobs, but it's a project. It's gonna take some time to get it finished. But this one is custom. I think this is a custom order, because owning 3 other ones in the past, they weren't built like this. This is really built different and unique. And when I had to sell off part of my collection, I kept this one because I knew that it was special. This is a 55 custom order from the factory, Gretsch.
I have several friends that have these project guitars, and
yeah.
sometimes they get done, sometimes they sit for a long time. But
Yeah.
it looks like you're working on it, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, but that's a 55, and then I picked up this 58 at the guitar show, the Texas Guitar Show.
Oh, that's nice.
Have you been to that?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
I've been to it twice. First time I went, I saw this sitting there, at the show. And I go, oh my God, it's beautiful. I grabbed it immediately, and a dozen guys were just waiting for me to put it down. And I sat there and played it for like a half hour.
Right.
Some are going, are you going to put that down? Are you going to buy it? I don't know. I'm still playing it, man. And I just sat there and I go, God, it resonates beautifully.
That's a classic.
What this is a 58 Streamliner. And
Now, do you want to say what this cost you?
Oh, I will.
Which I imagine a pretty penny.
Streamliners usually only came with 1 pickup here.
Yeah.
This has 2, and I asked guitar builders, did they add on a pickup? They go, no, the holes look like it was factory done.
Wow.
So I got lucky there, but it feels and plays exactly like a 6120, the orange ones? Yeah. Because I was going to buy a 58, which that's what this is, an orange 6120. Right. The neck is identical.
I have to ask the cost on this because I have a couple of 58 solid bodies, an old Dan Electro and a Super.
This cost me, I think, $1,400.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
I scored.
Especially at a show.
And right after I bought it, I had offers immediately for thousands more. I can imagine. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to sell it? No, I'm going to play it.
Oh, that's something.
But I always wanted a blonde 6120, and they're always, they're all orange. So I found that dream guitar that I didn't know it existed.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now I see one more back here over your right shoulder, and then we'll get to hear some of these, or hear this one at least.
This one?
Yeah, let's see
this
what
is
we have there.
This is a Pro Jet. This is pretty new. It's the Gretsch 125th anniversary model. Came out in 2008. Made in China, and it plays amazing.
I've seen these on the shop walls, yeah.
And it plays like butter. And I got it off eBay for $300.
Oh, that's a deal.
With the hard shell case. I put the Bigsby on it, and got the TV Jones put in there, and it plays and sounds amazing. I highly recommend the Pro Jets. They're affordable, and they play great.
Can't go wrong there. And you got the locking for the strap lock on there. So you don't
right here, yes.
Yeah.
That's how I ruined the Tennessean. The old style one came undone on the last song and just hit the stage. The whole audience went, huh? But,
well, I'm glad you brought all these in and showed us these. And I know we're going to take a minute here and try to do some playing on your favorite that you have set up here. We'll take a little break and be right back to hear Danny play his guitar here. So stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back to Lawndale Guitar Show. Our guest is Danny Dean. Thanks again for coming in, Danny.
Thank you.
And now you're all set with your original Gretsch here. And can you tell us briefly how you're going to run this, get your sound for what we're going to jam on?
It's a pretty simple rig. I have a Switch Hazel clean boost made by Divided by 13, and it's going through a full tone tube tape echo into a Divided by 13 amp, which is a 112 20 watt amp with 6v6 tubes. So it's very much like a Fender Deluxe Reverb.
Mm-hmm. Giving that classic sound.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you want to jam on?
This is called Hey Mama, Teach Your Boy to Dance.
All right.
Hey Mama, tell me why your boy can dance. I got my blue suedes on, got my fancy pants. You know a boy needs a girl for true romance. I won't get half a chance, so mama, won't you teach your boy to dance? Hey mama, tell me how to get a car. I gotta have some wheels, I won't get very far. I got some grease in my hair, it's a cool pompadour. Now all I need is a foot on the floor. Oh mama, won't you hear that engine roar? Oh mama, let's make a deal. Say son won't have to beg Barbara still. Hey mama, now I need some money fast. I got my girl in my Chrysler waiting in the back. I don't want a job, but I need some cash. I'll be one for robbing banks. Oh mama, won't you get your boy financed? Oh mama, let's make a deal. Say son won't have to beg Barbara still. Oh mama, let's make a deal. Say son, have to beg, borrow, steal. Let's rock it. Let's go, one more. Need some high finance, need a girl, give me true romance. I need fancy wheels, I need 3 square meals, need to get a life, it's all so real. So mama, let's make a deal. So son won't have to beg Barbara still. Bring it down. Hey mother, now your boy has learned to dance. He's got a cool guitar, he's in a rockin' band. Don't want a job, but he needs some cash. He'll be one for robbing banks. Oh mama, won't you get your boy financed? Oh mama, let's make a deal. Say son won't have to beg Barbara still. Oh mama, let's make a deal. Say son, have to beg, borrow, steal.
I'm trying to hang on there.
That was great.
That's fun.
That was a lot of fun.
All right. Got another one you want to throw?
Sure. This one's called Move It.
Okay.
Come on, pretty baby, let's move it and groove it. Dance, baby, please don't lose it. This rhythm, it gets into your heart and soul. Let me tell you, baby, it's called rock and roll. Say I just don't know what's going to replace it. Ballads and calypsos, I've got nothing on. Real country music that just drives along. Honey, move it. Honey, move it. All right, let's rock. Come on, pretty baby, let's move it and groove it. Dance, baby, please don't lose it. It's all over town, there's a brand new beat. And it's a hanging in the air like the Mississippi heat. There's fireflies in the night, bullfrogs stroking. Well, here comes the train, and boy, she's smoking. Heading out for New Orleans and Clear LA. Better get ready, it's a brand new day. Oh, honey, move it. Honey, move it. Ballads and calypsos, I've got nothing on. Real country music that just drives along. Honey, move it. 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 Honey, move it.
Good evening, friends. That's great. So these are original compositions of yours.
The first one that's off one of my CDs, and if anyone's interested, look up DannyDean.com. The second one is a Cliff Richard and the Shadows tune.
Oh, way back, okay.
And a lot of people don't know this, but before the Beatles, Cliff Richard and the Shadows were huge.
That was a huge UK band.
Yes,
and
they were
had
the
that
Beatles.
classic guitar piece, Apache.
Yes, the Shadows.
Without Cliff, but when
Yes.
they were the Shadows, right?
Yes, and I'm very influenced by them, you know, and I got to work with one of the songwriters who wrote Move It. I mean, the guy that wrote Move It, who was in the earlier lineup of Cliff and the Shadows. It was called Cliff and the Drifters.
Okay.
And he produced my version of Move It, and I was honored to work with him. He's passed away now, but I always try to do that song at every show I perform.
Well, Danny, speaking of original music, you know there's a certain song we'd love to hear right now, and I'll try to hang on if you want to give it a go.
Okay, we'll try Lights Out in Lawndale.
Great.
I look at my past, it's a frightening sight. Friends and family are so far apart. Familiar voice in my corridor. A hungry child cries for more. Lights out in Lawndale. Lights out in Lawndale. Someone's moved in the room next door. It's a couple of miles to the liquor store. Oh, the TV's no use, already tried it. The radio stops for a bit of quiet. Lights and Lawndale. Lights and Lawndale. Oh, oh, some people like to lie. Some people try to hide. There's people out there trying to make a mark. You gotta show them that you're smart. Hey! Lights out, lights out, lights out, Lawndale. Lights out, lights out, lights out, Lawndale. Lights out, lights out, Lawndale. Lights out, lights out, Lawndale. Hey!
Hope I didn't mess you up too bad.
Oh no,
That was great. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, just to try and wing it there and play that classic song. Now, Danny, I know you got some of your CDs you brought in there. You want to show us?
Yeah, I brought
One of
one
these?
for you. This is my last CD. It's called The Rockabilly Lover. It's got, I think, about 16 songs on it.
Uh-huh.
And I think you can order it through CD Baby and Amazon. And the band at the time was Danny Dean and the Homewreckers. And I'm working on a new one now,
Right.
and I hope to have it out, maybe the middle of next year.
People can go to your website again to locate what's available out there?
Yes, DannyDean.com.
Great.
You know.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming in, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And I think we'll take it out on an old classic that you said you wanted to give a go.
Oh yes, this is Marie's the Name, His Latest Flame.
Elvis.
Yes.
All right.
A very old friend came by today, 'cause he was telling everyone in town of the love that he just